Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to episode 33 of Talk4, the quickfire podcast where we ask four great questions to unique and interesting people. Behind the mic today is your host, Louis Skupien, that's me, and our special guest for today, Pedro Marinho, who's going to be answering our questions today. Pedro, please say hi, introduce yourself, and give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do before I shoot some questions.
Hey guys, my name is Pedro Marinho. I'm a black belt in the Gracie-Barra. I'm living in Houston, Texas now. I'm from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro,
Awesome.
and yeah, have been living in Houston 4 years almost in the United States and
Brilliant.
pursue my dream and my career on Jiu Jitsu.
Beautiful. So how many world champion titles do you have now?
I won two as a color belt. I
Mm-hmm.
was two world title as a purple and a brown belt.
Wow.
And now I win two as a black belt. Within 7 months as a black belt, I won my two world titles as a black belt. That was my weight in the open class.
That's fantastic. And yeah, Pedro, I've seen you on Instagram, I've seen you on YouTube, and it has to be said you've got some mad skills, dude. So I can't wait to ask a few questions. So if you're ready to go,
Yeah,
shall we jump on to question number one?
for sure. Let's do it.
Awesome. So for my first question, how did you start on your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu journey? What was your motivation behind it, and how did that lead to becoming a multiple time world champion?
Man, it's a good issue. Like I started on my small city in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
Periqui, Angra dos Reis, Rio de Janeiro. It's a
Yep.
small city in Rio, and I started training more because kind of was on that time MMA started getting like a lot of popular in Brazil,
Mm.
and I was kind of look for something to do, as a hobby, and I find first I started on MMA kind of, but I did 2 months, and then my professor leave,
Mm.
and I was kind of like without what to do, and I found jiu-jitsu, and I
Yeah.
started training with my professor Reinaldo Fernandes. I was my first professor, and man, I started getting into just for hobby, right? Like improve my healthy.
Mm.
Also, I was a little like how can I say active kid, like always doing a lot of stuff like sports. I did a lot of sports, and I
Active,
was
yeah.
kind of yeah, but like I found in jiu-jitsu something different.
Sure.
I live close to the beach in Brazil. I surfer, I skateboard, like soccer in Brazil is big time soccer there. We did a lot
Mm.
of type of these sports, but like it was when I restart jiu-jitsu that get me, like that I changed everything. One time I started jiu-jitsu, I think was the first 2 months. I went, man, how I will be able to do this my whole life.
Mm.
Was there like loving, the first time I started doing it, I said, man, I want to do this for, as a profession.
Mm.
And then but I didn't have that much like resource on my city, it was kind of like a small city. And then I started training my professor, and like it was kind of 3 years. I already trained. I would get my belts quickly. I think like 3 years and a half, I was a purple belt already. And my professor said, man, he's getting like, I think you need to kind of like start climb some, new places, new adventures. Like
Yeah.
on that time, I received the invited to be part of FP Golden Team. It was a Felipe Pena project.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And my professor said, man, go. And then it was this, like I went to the project as a purple belt there. I started to become a professional, like start training as a professional. Before I
Yeah.
just trained 3 times a week on my city. And when I moved to Felipe, that was Belo Horizonte, 12 hours from my city, was when I really started pursuing like, I say, man, I really want to do this professionally.
Yeah.
I quit school, I quit everything job, and just focus on jiu-jitsu. It was
Wow.
kind of like that I started.
Damn, man. So you've really gone the full measure with it then. I love that. So, you kind of went from MMA and then you went into jiu-jitsu and you quit school and you started to, take that leap of faith and start really doing amazing things. And I can tell it's clearly a decision that paid off well for you. And it's funny because some of my other guests also they say that surfing and jiu-jitsu kind of go hand in hand, don't they, with the whole
Yeah,
balance thing. And there's a lot of very, very good jiu-jitsu athletes who also do
Yeah.
surfing. And so yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? Anyway, so for my second question, I would like to ask a little bit about competition in jiu-jitsu.
Uh,
So what are some of your top tips for preparing for jiu-jitsu competitions before the tournament? What sort of food are you eating to get enough energy but not feel
uh,
heavy? What is your warm-up like? And do you have any really good tips for preparing for the fight mentally or physically?
man, like, as a fight, I think like confidence and preparation, and that englobe all the things you said, right? Like how you eat, how you train, how you take care of your body.
Yeah.
One thing that I see everybody doing, right, is train hard, training hard, training hard. And it's great, right? Like, is that the way? But a lot of people, I think, missing all the steps to, like that. Remember that, like, jiu-jitsu is also a lot of mental. You
Mm.
can be the toughest guys in the gym, and if you go to a tournament, it's gonna be a totally different environment. Normally, on when you train just in your gym, right, you all in a comfort zone. Every day you come, your friends, you train, relax, on that pressure situation, or you kind of in comfort zone. When
Mm.
you go to a tournament, it's totally different, right? Like you out of your comfort zone. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what's going to come from the opponent. And that's something that a lot of people, they get like, how gonna say, they freeze.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always try to advise the guys, is understand that, man, especially like say I have two types of competitors, right? The hobbyist, the guy who compete because he likes, right? Like he know live from jiu-jitsu. It's
Yeah.
just his hobby, right? That type of people, I say to them, man, go there and try challenge yourself. This is gonna put new goals on your life. You see a lot of times these guys like they get a point where they have like the house, the family, and they don't have too much what achieve in life, right? Like some successful guys, they kind of like the life is kind of the same all the time for them. And then when they start jiu-jitsu, start competing, they find a new like a passion, a new goals. uh
Mm.
I felt like competition help you, and all these other things we talk about, like eat healthy. Why? If you don't eat healthy, like you're gonna perform bad. If you don't train hard, you're gonna perform bad you know
Mm.
and it's all, I always tell the guys, like, you have to look yourself how you want to perform there. Even if you are hobbyist or a professional, how much work you need to put into to get on the level you want.
Mm.
And my
Absolutely.
advice is always like, man, go out there, do your best and understand that like these things going, win or lose is gonna pass.
Yeah.
Like man, sometimes we put too much expectations in tournaments, but we forget that every week has another tournament. And
Mm.
I always tell the next tournament is always the most important. Like you can win today the world title, but man, the most important tournament is gonna be your next one.
Mm.
Because right, like, if you win the world title, but you go to the next one, you lost, people are always gonna say something. And that's one thing that you need to kind of take away of your mind. What's people gonna talk about you? Just
So
go out
true.
there, do what you love. And one thing that I always appreciate it, and I try always take care is the people is really around me, people that share from me. And these people I really want to make them proud. But
Mm.
people who like, try to bring others down, these things you see like nowadays with the internet, right? People have the time to create fake accounts to talk, shit for competitors. And I see like this way, I felt like you have to take care of people around you and train hard, eat well, and enjoy the journey, because like competition is just a journey. It's not
Mm.
something that you're gonna win all the time. It's not something that you're gonna lose all the time. You're gonna get your ups and downs, and it's like life. I felt that that's that, like go out there and see as a life. It's a challenge that you're facing,
Mm.
and after the challenge, it's not done. You're gonna have another ones, that you're gonna have to face and endure.
Mm. Oh, Pedro, that's such wise advice, and it absolutely so true. And I definitely think that if you lose a tournament, or if you lose a match, we only learn from defeat, don't we? Only
Yeah,
learn from our mistakes.
it's
And
true.
if we never lost, then what would be the point of winning? In a sense, it wouldn't have the same feel of celebration
Yeah,
and
and
success to it.
it's
Absolutely.
like all the time I tell people, you think if your life was just like everything you wanted happened, like, man, it would be
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah, of
Like you
course.
think like I say, sometimes you tell, like say, for us, I don't know how you're conditioned, but say for me, like Ferrari is a, man, crazy cars, like I know these cars like Lamborghini, right?
Mm.
If you go ask this for a son of a sheikh from Abu Dhabi, it's nothing for them. They don't see, you know what I mean? It's just like how I'm gonna say that the things that are really important always gonna be hard, you know.
Mm.
Like for them, like say they have all the money, all these things. Lamborghini could be nothing, but for a lot of us, a dream, right?
Mm.
Why? Because it's kind of hard to get that thing. It's like
Yeah.
like it's expensive, it's hard, it's this, it's that. I felt on the same way on this part of like competition. As hard the thing it is, like how I'm gonna say better it is. You know what
Mm.
I mean? Like our heart is, man. Like I always tell, like it's not about the title you win, it's who you beat on the way. You
Yeah,
know, for me, it's
absolutely.
always like that. I prefer win an open when I beat like the best guys in the world than actually like you win a tournament that I beat, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's all about your
Like
kind of
I
priorities
want
and
always the challenge. I want always the best challenge, and I think we always have to chase that. I talk about myself, but on my vision, I think everybody should like always chase challenge. Because it's that make us grow.
I love that. And that's such a good philosophy to have. And in fact, just thinking about what you're saying there, I think that there's kind of a misunderstanding nowadays around retirements. And I don't just mean in jiu-jitsu and sport, but I think
Uh,
in general, it's where people think, oh, I'm going to retire and then I'm going to have this amazing life and I'm going to love everything. But I think that the people who are true hustlers and people who are true athletes, it's almost the worst thing for them in a way, isn't it? Because it's the journey that's the fun part. It's the grinding. It's the early mornings and the late nights and going
it
to the
is.
gym every day. That's the part that's really fun about it. And I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's like the journey should never really stop, no matter who you are and where you are and what age you are. It should always carry on, shouldn't it?
Yeah, we always expect things from things, right? Like say, oh, if this happened in my life, I'll be happy, you know, and
Yeah,
that happened, and then you say, man, but no, no, I need that. If that thing happened, I'll be happy, and that things keep it happening in your life. It's just like we stop to see how many things we wish that happen in our life, and we
mm.
still like look for more. That's the
Yeah,
human nature, right? Like we strive for more, right?
absolutely.
And the thing, the difference, I felt that how we gonna approach that, you know, you're
Yeah,
gonna like that thing consume you, or you're gonna control it. You know what I mean? Like things gonna go my way. You can't let like say the life just pushes you. You need
yeah,
to. On my understand, of course. When I say this, I don't want people to say, "Oh man, this guy's safe forever." No, I say on my understand. You know, we need to treat these things. Like a challenge, go into, and like man, try improve our lives, not just like outside, right? Like I don't say just about like a business wizard, like your patrimony, all these things, but say like an interior. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh, as a person, be better for people. Be better for your family. I think that's one of the things that you need to strive every day. And as you said about I felt that somebody told me this, and I never forget, kind of that every way you choose is gonna have the bad things too.
mm.
Sometimes you think, oh man, if I choose the other way, like say, oh, if I was no athlete, if I was this, I would be happy. But like you're gonna have the problems of that journey. You know what I mean? I'm
Yes,
athlete. I have
yeah,
a athlete's problem. If I was other thing, if I was a lawyer, I would have lawyer problems. People don't understand that sometimes. They think that the people's life is always better than us, right? It's always
yeah.
easy. You know?
Yeah, it's always so easy to overlook the negative side of things. It's easy to just see what, you look at on, Instagram, social media,
Yeah.
what people are wearing, you think, oh, they must be having such a good
No,
time.
but
But yeah, you don't see that dark side of things, do you?
yeah, it's easy for like say let's say we always try like we don't want to put there our problems, of course not.
Sure.
And some people put, but say like most of them we're gonna put the best, but always the good time, right?
Yeah.
Even sometimes, man, like how how you gonna say, you felt that people try fake a life on through Instagram, you
Oh
know,
yeah, for sure.
and that's crazy for me. That like, okay, we put in always the good parts. Okay, always it's okay. You don't want to start put your problems there, and I don't think you need to put your problems out there. I always
Mm,
tell them like, if you have a like say a if you I don't know if you have drug problems, you have alcohol problems, all these things. Even if you have, I don't think you need to put this out there to like you don't need sparring people that way. You know what I mean?
mm,
That you need to try like I think take off this your problems, but try always show the world, pass ahead. I think the good parts of you have, the good energy, the good advices, these things you need to pass ahead, you know.
yeah,
To
absolutely. Totally agreed with that. And I mean, I personally think as well that, when it comes to sort of, insecurity and being self-conscious on social media, I think that kind of starts with the expectations you set for people to have of you in a way. And if you post this luxurious lifestyle where everything looks perfect all the
yeah,
time, then people kind of have this set standard for you, and then you get insecure about the things, the reality of things. But if the way out of that almost might be, showing people the real you, and
yeah,
posting, not just the good times but the bad times, and
yeah,
showing people your
yeah,
journey through, not
yeah.
just
Make
the hard
them
times but the good times as well, equally, so people can see the journey.
inspiring, like inspiring people that they see that the life is not just like easy. Everybody has the battles, like
Yeah.
sometimes we think, oh no, this guy, man, this, that, man, everyone has his battles, like everyone had the problems and everyone's trying to figure out how to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that was fantastic advice, and I love your
Yeah,
philosophy. So, anyway, let's make a move to question three now. So,
let's do it.
what are some of the things that you have been doing and working on outside of the dojo that have had the biggest positive impact on your performance in jiu-jitsu? So, in other words, what stuff can the listeners also do when they're at home to make themselves better rounded at jiu-jitsu?
Man, you say on the sport part or like on general, like you
In
say make
general,
better
so
jiu-jitsu, like
yeah.
man, I felt study was something that I never did too much.
Mm,
All my life I never like watched too much videos. But since like a couple months, I start kind of look, more videos, study more jiu-jitsu. I never like it too much, but I felt that helped me a lot. I
mm.
try to get some people that I think have a kind of same style as me, and put the extra hour right there to study. It's something that I have been working on because it's not easy. Like sometimes get boring. You need to kind of always be able to, uh, try to take something good for each videos, right? Like
Yeah.
how gonna say, motivate yourself to keep doing that. Be disciplined to every. You know, but I have been working on these, like study more. One thing that for me was like biggest difference that I have been feeling on the last months was the recovery part. I started taking care much more of my recovery part.
Mm.
Before I just want to train, and negligence this part of recovery. But one time that injury start coming, you see, man, like all in one time, like after I won my black belt world title, I get like 3 months, I think, that I wasn't like no able to train, like at all. My body was all broken, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, man, this is wrong, is something wrong. And when I start like take care of this part, like recovery, I have been doing a lot of ice baths, sauna, stretching, massage, all these things that if you're able to put in, is things that are gonna help you get the extra 1% that you need to be a champion. Because I felt that, like I said, nowadays everybody's training hard. You know,
Mm.
I think what's make difference is what you're doing extra, right? Like if you put one recovery, I think you're one step ahead, right, of the guy who just trained. If you train jiu-jitsu, lift weights, and recover, now you're 3 steps ahead of the guy who just trained. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of felt that this that you do outside is gonna push you up.
Mm. Yeah, I can
These
imagine
extra.
that you can't let your ambitions and your mind and your goals and your heart get too far ahead of your body's capabilities, can you? In the sense that you need to make sure that you're able to physically maintain and take that kind of strenuous activity, don't you?
Yeah.
So that you can't, so that you don't break down when you're trying to go too hard. If you're going training every day, multiple hours a day, but you're
Yeah.
not getting the recovery and, you've got the ambition, you've got the drive, and that's all very good traits. But, if the body can't keep up with that, then eventually, something's going to break and you're going to be further
Oh
back than
yeah.
you were if you'd been taking care of yourself every day, just a little bit in place of maybe a bit of the extra training, for example. Do you
I
think?
always I always joke with the guys, about it, like, man, you need to put some of this. Like I say, when you're a professional, right? Like you make money from jiu-jitsu. I say you need to put this money back on your body. Like
Yeah.
people sometimes think you just want to make, but this you're gonna have a short career. You're gonna have a lot of injuries, all these things, and on the long term journey, you're gonna be like, you're kind of gonna be behind. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And what I felt that if you're able to like give back to your body, all the work that he put into to make you like train hard, push yourself. You
Yeah.
need to like, pay him back. I say that like I need to pay my bill with my body. Like he's working now. He want to have his payments, right? It's like a recovery. Is I eat well, supplement well, right? Because if I don't take care of him, more a couple years, he gonna say, bro, now I can't handle more. It was too much, and now you can't fix more. It's too late.
Yeah.
And I felt as early you understand the idea of also take care of your body. They understand that, man, if you really want to do this for your whole life, you need to take care of your body. Because you see a lot of people that train too crazy when they are young, right? And nowadays they're kind of old. You see that cannot train, have a hips problem, back problems. Of
Yeah.
course, we're gonna have a couple of these injuries, right? It's normal, right? It's normal. Let's say like you really have to take care of that. Like,
Mm.
I remember before, even when I was already like, competing the highest level, you hurt something and I say, ah, man, I don't care for this, like I'm tough. I can keep pushing, and that's always like sometimes take my way of big tournaments, because when you get close to the big tournaments, that injury that I had like 2 3 months ago that I didn't take care come up again, you know,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
that things you lost a lot of opportunities because like your body is not ready, like, or because you know take care of your body. When
Mm.
you these extra things, you're gonna perform better. You know, like if let's say I train hard today and I go home, I eat bad. Tomorrow I wake up all sore again, right? But if I like I train hard here, I go home, I eat a good food, I supplement myself, I do a ice bath. The other training I'll be fresh, to go. I'll good to go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
On this way, I felt you take care of recovery, you're able to train 2 3 times a day. And of course, one thing I always tell everybody, people think we train 3 times a day, crazy porrada 3 times a day. It's not. Like you have to pace how you train. At least
Mm.
me, on my view, right? Like I train hard morning. If I train hard morning, afternoon or night, it's gonna be a light training just to keep moving my body, train new techniques with the students here, and you like you have to know how train. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
know when you push and when you need to go relax. I always say here for the competitors, here in Gracie-Barra West Chase that, man, you don't need to go with a student and try beat him up. Like you don't need to prove nothing to him, that he knows that you can do that. You know,
Yeah.
the idea is when the student comes train to, he had a good experience. I always tell them, I wanted the student train to, and I don't
Mm.
want to go out and say, man, Pedro is tough, man. He submit me 10 times. No, I want to say, man, it's really nice training with Pedro. He's so nice. Even he could beat me bad. He let the train, was a good experience. And that was I try to pass for them, that for me is important is, like use these things, like you train hard in the morning. When you go train the students, train more your technique, more relax, have a more fun too, you know. And I felt that the journey become more light,
Yeah, I totally agree. And no, you've made such good points there, and I think that you're totally right. Jiu-Jitsu is not a short journey; it's a very long journey. And like life is a very long journey, and it's
Yeah.
about longevity, and it's about maintaining, your body and your health and your mind and your, family and relations. And I think that's what has set apart the most famous, world champions in any sport. It's not just being world champion one time. It's not just achieving something or winning a trophy. It's been the continuous winning of these things, isn't it? That's made, the greatest world champions in, tennis and any other sport. It's those multiple Grand Slams where they just have that body that keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And, that's what sets, the best of the best apart from the best, I suppose. Would you say?
Yeah, I felt that, I felt like the best of the best is not just chasing like they don't chase just win, but also get better every time. Win
Yeah.
every time better,
Yeah,
I felt that
life is a
that's the
journey.
difference. Yeah, like it's like okay, I did on this way, but like next time, how can I do it different and better? Let's say I
Sure.
win a world title now on this way. How can I do next time better? Maybe I go out there to meet all my opponents. About again, we come back about the put challenge.
Yes,
Put challenge
absolutely.
against. Like, okay, I did like this, but how I gonna? How I could? You know what I mean? Something that challenge you, right? Like you did this, like say, like win world titles, right? You win your first world title, it's like man, like world champ. You did something forever. You know what I mean? Like, and but then we start to find okay, but hey, next year have another one. You know, like say if you don't win that one, you're gonna have another world champ. That you need to keep like challenge yourself. Okay, next year, have
Yeah.
again. When get close, I'll win again, but on this way. You know what I mean? Like try always push the bar up.
Yeah, always looking to improve, no
Yeah,
matter where you are, who
yeah.
you are, what your title is,
it,
and
it's
what your
not
rank.
just about it's not just about the result. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm,
result is important. Win is so important. Sometimes like especially for people who want to pursue the dream. I always say, man, win is important. You know, don't think that oh no man, just no. If you want to be professional, win is important. But you need to understand that it's not all the time that you see a lot of champs that didn't was great when they was color belt and they get to the black belt, they poof. You
yeah.
see all the guys that was great as a color belt and get to the black belt, nobody know about more, you
Mm,
know?
yeah, it
And
gets to your
that's the
head.
thing. Sometimes you need to understand your journey. It's no like it's not everybody's journey the same, Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes you look at the guy who win everything, the undefeated guy, this guy, man, 100 matches without loss, this and that, and it need to be like that. It's not. Have a lot of different types of champs, you know. Have that dominant champ, right? The guy who don't lost, but have the other champ who he fall and he come back stronger. Every time the life bringing him down, he come back stronger. And I felt that people has all type of champs to inspire them.
Yeah.
You can see on a lot of ways, like the guy who's dominant, the guy who fall but come back. Like we appreciate that too. The guy who because life is like this, right? You have the most of the people is not that guy who just won, right? The most of the measure is people who have been like win and lose, like how life it is, right? Ups and downs, high and lows, and yeah, and like I say, I felt that is that like uh, people has every type of champ to inspire them.
Mm.
It's not just like this way is the right way. You need to do this way. I don't feel that.
Yeah. I mean, in any sport, I think that you can win, you can win the match, you can win the competition, you can get a submission or, you can score the goal, but you could still make mistakes. And, if you're in
Yeah.
on the tennis court, for example, I play tennis full time
Uh huh.
and, you can still win a match and you can still play badly or you can make loads of mistakes and there's so much you could have improved, but you might still win the tournament. And I do think that it's the mark and the hallmark of a true
Oh yeah.
professional and a champion to be able to self-criticize and feedback on after a
Yeah.
victory and be able to say, well, you know what, I won, but maybe I shouldn't have won that, or maybe
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
improve this the next time. So yeah, I think what you said there really does hit the spot for sure, Pedro. It's yeah, it's very wise words from a true champion.
Uh, Appreciate it.
You're welcome,
No, it's
man.
good because like sometimes I felt that people think it's just like like we sometimes we of course now we know about a lot of we see a lot of the people who the champs who's not this and that, But if you see like the guys who we get remembered like forever, right? Like Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
right? The guys that world wizard knowing, Mike Tyson, world wizard. Everybody know who is this guy. You know, even who don't even know what box is, they know what's Muhammad Ali, right? Like, and look, that guy lost. He lost couple fights, right? Like Mike Tyson, he lost couple fights, but they shoot the champ because it's not just about one, two matches. It's about the journey. It's
Mm.
about your like, you know, what you did. Like say you 10 years of profession. What you did on 10 years is what's gonna matter. It's not what you did on one tournament, specific day. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You
Absolutely.
can win one of the title on that, but you'll be a guy who, you know, like it's not be a good example for people. All these things that life can bring you down. You see a lot of champs that go up, you know, and they try, I'm the man, I'm this, I'm that. And when they fall hard, you know,
Mm.
because you need to understand that that's past, you know, like say, they say, I hear one thing these days was that the top of the mountain is something that you just get there, you know, but nobody like stay there.
So true.
Nobody stay on the top of the mountain because like there is a great point to get there. You know,
Mm.
you can still there a couple, but you don't want to stay there whole life because like that nothing like say that don't have a civilization or you know what I mean. Like it's just like idea of like you go up, but man, you have to understand that your time is gonna pass too. You know.
Very true. Yeah, very wise advice, man. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. And right, so let's have a look at our fourth and final question for today, Pedro. If you could be heard by every person in the world who is thinking about starting jiu-jitsu but hesitating, what would you tell them are the top benefits to their lives they would be missing out on if they didn't start? And what would you say to them to help them make the decision and turn up for their first lesson?
Man, what I would say that jiu-jitsu a life change completely. You
Mm,
know, a lot of people think jiu-jitsu like fight, right? Like just like a MMA, you see, but it's totally different, right? Jiu-jitsu work your focus. You know, you need to be able to work technique together with strength. You know, you need to be able to put all think and body on the same time. You
mm,
know, to be like a successful. And I help like jiu-jitsu help on this. You know, I felt improve your focus, you know, situations that happen inside the mats, you're gonna bring outside, they're gonna resolve problems in life, you know. Like the network you have in jiu-jitsu is different of no one. You know,
mm.
I say always that we make a lot of friends in jiu-jitsu, you know, like you see people that come like the first week of them training, they get into they like I have a friends that I never saw outside of the gym. There is more friends that I had outside of the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think the environment, the culture of jiu-jitsu that help each other, you know, that's the difference and what make people get in love, you know. And those one who didn't try yet, you need, man. You need to try jiu-jitsu. It's gonna be a life change to you. And like I say, I'm sure it's gonna be one of the best decisions you guys ever made it. I have been like with a lot of you know guys here in America like teaching, right? I have been teaching 3 4 years already, and I see a lot of people who come here without goals, you know, too much. The guys who are already like, oh, the lives kind of get boring, you know, and they find a new breed on jiu-jitsu, you know, they find the new goals, the new challenge, and jiu-jitsu is something they're gonna challenge you forever, you know, because no have an end. You know something I always say to people: if you get bored, it's your fault, you know, because impossible, man. It's impossible to get bored. Look how many things you can work on, you know, guard, takedowns, bring bulls, lapel, leg locks, you know, it's so many things you're gonna be able to apply. That's gonna be fun on a journey, you know. And like I
Mm.
say, more than anything, more the technique, more than anything, I'm guarantee you, it's gonna be the best hour of your day.
Brilliant. Excellent advice, Pedro, and all so true. And that is our four questions done for today. And before we wrap this up, it is time for what I like to call the shameless plug. So, Pedro, feel free to take a minute and promote anything that you're working on, you want people to take a look at, or just something that you believe in.
Man, I just want to thank you first for the invite. You know, was nice talk with you. I hope help you know inspiring people to get better in life. You know, like try improve their lives through jiu-jitsu. You know, and yeah, I have an now ADCC. Everyone follow me. You guys can follow me on Instagram. I have been training hard. Post some of my training on Instagram. It's a Pedro Marinho JJ, right? I have a HCC, the Abu Dhabi Combat Club. It's gonna be the tournament in Las Vegas, September 17 and 18. I'm going there to win the 88 kilograms gold. If you guys want to follow and this journey, just follow me on social media. It's gonna be a pleasure, guys. Share a cup of my journey with you guys.
Great stuff. Pedro, hey, thank you so much for joining me today for the Talk4 podcast. This has been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
My pleasure, brother. Really,
awesome.
Thank you for the invite, and I hope the English was not that bad.
the English was fantastic, Pedro.
Yeah.
You've done a great job. Thank you.
I was like, man, I was a little nervous.
No, dude, you've done a great job. I think I hope the hosting wasn't too hard for you, but I think it sounds like you did a fantastic job and had no trouble.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
No worries. Hey, thank you guys for listening. This has been episode 33. And if you'd like to listen to our past episodes, go and have a look at our channel. And if you'd like to listen in for our future ones, make sure to hit that subscribe button and spread some love by leaving a like and a comment. Signing off for now.